All right, good morning, everyone. Today is January 11th. This is Earth Science. I'm Mr. Sheridan. I hope you're all having a great day. So welcome back to our second week of the second semester, and we are going to work this week toward finishing a summative project that we are starting today. So over the last week, we did a lot of work on focusing on how different types of energy affects the Earth's climate. We've talked about the sun's energy that is either blocked by clouds or atmospheric molecules. We've talked about volcanoes and how that release of energy into the atmosphere significantly can change climates, especially if we're talking supervolcanoes. We've talked about ocean currents. And then on Friday, we all put together a big presentation and we added a few more on there about how the Earth's tilt on its axis and its orbit affect the climate, about how we did ocean currents, and we talked about how humans have affected a lot of these different things. We've done a lot of work on figuring out lots of different ways that changes in energy affect the Earth's climate. So what we're going to do, and I'll show you here as I share my screen. If you go into your Google Classroom, again, this should all be fairly familiar. Your weekly agenda is up to date, so you can look in there, and the link to our class is in there, and the things that you need, you can use that as a reference if you like. But for today, we're on assignment number 73. It is a summative assessment. And if you click on that link and you all have a copy of that, it's going to take you to here. It's going to take you to the rubric. This is the learning target that we are working on, which is I can use a model to describe how variations in the flow of energy into and out of Earth systems result in changes in climate. So what I would like for you to do is that I want you to create a slides presentation of your own. So on Friday, we worked as a group to create a slides presentation on one of those types of energy that affects the climate. What I want you to do on your own is I want you to pick 3. You're going to focus on 3 of those types of energy that affect Earth's climate. And you are going to create your own slide deck. Again, you're going to have this entire week to be able to work on this. This is not a spring thing. This is not due tomorrow. This is not due today. It's due on Friday. So you have all week to work on this. And if you're diligent and you're working in class, you'll have more than enough time. So the things that I want you to include, I want you to give us details about how that type of energy affects Earth's climate. So you have to tell us what it is. You're describing what exactly it is. If you're focused on the Earth's sun, if you're focused on volcanoes, the Earth's orbit, human impacts, if you're focused on, there's other issues that have caused changes in the Earth's climate, currents and all kinds of good stuff. So you have options that you can choose from when we're talking about details but you need to describe that type of energy and how it affects the Earth climate. You need to talk about the short and long-term effects. You need to describe the science and tools that are helping scientists learn about this energy transfer. So we're not just looking at Wikipedia and finding out that, the Earth's energy is, changed in this way, which affects the climate in this way, and you're writing a paragraph on there. I want you to go in and figure out how we know this stuff and figure out why we're getting this best information that we have. So as scientists, we need to evaluate the information that we're using. And by that, I mean, I want you to focus on who's doing the research and what types of tools are they using. So if you're talking about volcanic activity, what types of tools do we use to monitor and measure the amount of volcanic activity that is happening in the world right now? I also want you to describe a scientist who is either working in this area right now or maybe discovered or is attributed with the discovery of this type of energy. There's one scientist in particular that we'll learn about a little more today that was the first to hypothesize that there are massive climate changes in the Earth's history that happen over thousands of years that repeat themselves over and over and over again. So that you can focus on that scientist. I don't need a whole paragraph about that. It's not a book report on that scientist, but I do want you to mention them and what kind of work that they're doing. So again, we're doing all of this information for 3 different types of energy. Then I want you to give me an example, at least one, example for each type of energy of when it's happened before, what the history of this energy and the changing of the climate, what it looks like, what's the history look like, and will it ever happen again? And how, if humans weren't here affecting this at all, would it happen again naturally? And how often does it happen naturally? Then I want you to focus on human activities in relation to this, to the types of energy that you choose. What types of, are there ways that humans are affecting this type of energy, and how so? Is there a way that that if we changed our behavior, that we could reverse the process of what's happening to in order to maintain that natural climate change? Or is it something that we can affect in a positive way, rather than if we've impacted it negatively? So this is your project. This is what I'm looking for. The other part of this, you'll see in the instructions here. So you're going to create a slide deck with all of that information in there. You're going to have 3 of those types of energy that you're going to detail. Then after you finish your presentation, I want you to record yourself going through your presentation. If there is a way for you to be able to share that on your screen, that would be amazing, so that you can kind of guide me through your presentation as you're doing it. If not, your presentation will be attached to the assignment as well, and you can record yourself, flipping through your slides so that you can reference them. So that's your presentation for this week. Again, you do need to come to class every single day, because we are going to give you some more information and kind of fill in some gaps as we go along this week. It also gives you an opportunity to ask questions if you have any. Or I can actually look at your presentation and help kind of guide you if you have a question, whether you're finished or whether you need more information or whether you need to focus in a certain area. I'm happy to help with all of those things. So I look forward to touching base with all of you every day this week as we work toward finishing these on Friday. Hope you all have a great day, and we will talk to you again tomorrow.